Hello, and welcome back to Let's Get Lit. Alright, you guys know the routine. Today we're discussing Chapter 7 of Frankenstein. The first 6 videos are already on YouTube. Well, chapters, because there's also the letters. So, are you guys ready? You gotta catch up before you watch this one. That way there's no spoilers. Alright. Awesome. Alright, so, Chapter 7 of Frankenstein. This begins with Henry and Victor coming back from their trip in Ingolstadt. When they get home, they see that Victor's father has written him a letter. So, Victor opens it up, and the letter, sadly, tells Victor that his youngest brother William has died. Now, the father says that him, Elizabeth, Ernest, and William all decided to go for a walk. They went for a walk in a town close to Geneva, just right outside, and, well, Elizabeth and him got tired, so they sat down on a log. The two brothers went continually, and they played. They played hide and seek. But after a few hours, only one brother returned, and that was Ernest. So, it was getting late, and they decided that, well, maybe William just went back to the house. So they go back to the house, but they don't find him. So, they look all night long for him, and finally, they find him the next morning with a handprint around his neck. He was murdered. Now, at this point, Victor is filled with continuous grief. He can't believe that this has happened to him. Now, his father asks him in the letter to please come back and to be with them. Not to find the murderer, not to do anything like that, but just to grieve together as a family, because he just really wants Victor there. Victor is the only one who can console Elizabeth. Elizabeth feels like she's the one who caused the death of William, because the night that the murder happened, Elizabeth let William wear a necklace of his mother's, and it was gone whenever they found his body. So she immediately blames herself. So after reading the letter, Victor decides he has to go back to Geneva. Henry gives his condolences, he gets into a carriage, and Victor rides off. During this ride, Victor describes the beautiful scenery that he's looking at while he's traveling home. And he feels like it's mocking him because he knows the terror and the dread that's going to await him when he gets there. Now, when he gets to Geneva, it's too late at night. The gates are already locked and he can't go home. So he stays in the town adjacent to Geneva, the exact same one that William was murdered in. So, Victor can't sleep. He goes to his brother's murder site, and at that point, there's this huge lightning storm that's happening at that moment. He can see the lightning everywhere, and he was in the valley, and the mountains were all around him. So he's looking up, and he is seeing everything that's going on around him. And during one of the lightning strikes, something catches his eye. He looks down for a split second, and right there he sees his creation. Something that he hasn't seen in 4+ years. Well, now probably close to 6. So, he looks, and there it is, standing and staring right at him. And as soon as the light's gone, Victor starts looking around. And then the lightning strikes again, and he can see the creature going up the mountain. With every bolt of lightning, the creature is getting further and further towards the summit of the mountain. Victor runs away terrified. But at that moment, as he's running, he knows who killed his brother. He knows for a fact that it was the creature that killed his brother and not anyone else. So, he goes back to the town, and it's around 5 a.m. in the morning. Well, at that point, the gates are unlocked, and he makes it to his house. He makes it to his father's house, where he's greeted by Ernest, the middle brother. They're talking and talking, and Ernest says they know who the murderer is. They say it's Justine. And the reason for that is because the night that William was murdered, the locket around his neck was taken. But it was found in Justine's room. So they believe wholeheartedly Justine is the murderer. After this point, Victor's father walks in, and Victor is telling Ernest, no, it's not Justine. Justine is not the murderer. He knows who the murderer is. But Victor won't say it's his creation because he feels like everyone's going to think he's crazy if he does say that. So Ernest tells Victor's father, or his father, that Victor knows who the murderer is, but won't say. Elizabeth then comes down, and Elizabeth agrees with Victor. She does not believe it's Justine at all. She loves and respects Justine so much that she just can't bear the thought of her being the murderer. This is where the end of chapter 7 happens. They're awaiting the trial of Justine at the courts. Alright guys, so please remember to like, share, and subscribe down below for more content. Also, the next video will be about chapter 8. So let's see what happens in the court, and let's see what happens to Justine. Alright, have a great one you guys. And as always, stay lit.